Welcome to the Art Lady channel. Today I'm going to show you the last two letters of the alphabet, Y and Z, in a one-point perspective. Now I'm making the letters Y and Z in one-point perspective. Here's my point right here. So I'm going to block in the letters Y, and this is a simple block letter, and Z, and then I'm going to trace them over with a black Sharpie. If you do a point and a point, I found this works better. That way I don't go beyond the line. I just bring it to my point. I want to bring the width of this line, I want to keep the same. So I'm bringing this up to the top, bottom, and then I'm just going to freehand these short ones here. And then I want my Y. I'm going to come up at a little bit of more of an angle here. And I want these to be parallel. This line with mine inside Y. Yeah, I like that angle better. And then Z. Get my stop line first. I'm pulling it down a little bit, you can see, because I want the thickness of the pen. This is going to straight up vertical. You always want to remember, keep it vertical and horizontal to the edges. Where I overran my line, I can just simply take a little bit of white out. I'm going to do that at the very end though. Now I want the thickness here. It's a real angular Z here. Okay. Kind of reminds me of lightning bolt type shape here. Okay, so XYZ. Actually, this could come over a little bit more. This should have lined up here. But if you want to extend yours over more or make sure that they line up, you want to make sure that this lines up. I'm just being picky, but this should line up probably with that. I think it would look a little bit better. So I can fix that. Just come on in with this. Just makes me happier. I'm just going to come over a little bit more, not much, not as far as here. We're getting into a funky Z shape here. Okay. I'm not really super happy with it, but we'll live with it just for demonstration purposes. Okay, so here's my Z, Y and Z. Now we're going to bring back all of the edges to my vanishing point. I've got a crazy vanishing point down here. I want a single dot. So all of them come back. Now if you're going to do letters in rows, you know, a word or whatnot, you want to make sure that they're of similar thicknesses. And nothing on the top here comes back. So I'm just double checking here. I'm checking my corners. Right here, everything's hidden. This corner, everything's hidden. So the only thing I'm seeing is the lower areas of this line. So I want to determine how thick my letters are going to be. So I want them about, say, 1/4 inch thick. So I'm going to come here and I'm keeping this parallel, and wherever this meets, this is the bottom of my letter from the very back. So then the bottom back letter is going to come up, and this needs to be parallel to this line. So I slide it up, and there is the Y in perspective. Now remember, we don't see any of this inside. Depends on the angle that we make it. Sometimes we do. Depends on how you draw your Y. You may see some of this area or this area. Okay, so now I'm going to trace the lines I want to keep. And then I'm going to use my ruler for these lines here. Generally, any long line I use a ruler for. Some of the shorter ones I just simply freehand. Now we're going to color it in. The Y that is in perspective. And then we would just erase any of this. And then you have your block Y. Now we're going to work on our Z. So I take my perspective point, my vanishing point, all corners. You can see here I see a little bit of this. I'm going to slide it out because I want to leave thickness for the, and then this corner. The inside I don't see, so none of this is going to be back in perspective. The inside's hidden, but my top I do see. Here's my corner here. None of this side I see, but we do see the underneath of the Z here to this corner right here. So this is the angle I see. So I'm going to set my thickness of my letters from this corner. And then I'm going to come up. I see just a sliver here. I'm going to get my pen because I want to trace this with the pen. And right in here. And then I'm going to trace this with the pen to be precise. Now I'm going to color in this area. And then I'm going to do the bottom. Keeping it the same thickness as my top. And then this is my corner. And then I'm going to use a ruler for this. Sometimes it's easier when you're doing these really tight corners. And also using a really thin marker. This marker is a bit thicker than what I like. But for demonstration purposes, this is fine. Okay, and there is my Z. I'm just going to clean up this edge a little bit. And you can even clean up this stuff. Let me show you with, after you erase it, like for example, I made this, I extended this a little bit longer because I didn't like that shape. And I did that with my whiteout right here. And any areas here, just because I wasn't quite careful enough. I was rushing. There. So you can clean up anything like this with whiteout. And here's an, oh, I got a smudge here. Something smudged. And even up in here you can clean them up with whiteout. I don't like doing the whiteout until I'm completely done erasing though, because it does make me smudge. There, I got that smudge off. But there's your Y and Z in 3D. Actually, the Z does look kind of cool now. Okay,